Hey, 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 how are you doing today? Welcome back to another week of Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV Show. We are so excited that you are here. Thank you for watching. Make sure that you like, subscribe, comment, and share so that we can make sure the word gets out about the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair TV Show. My name is Michelle Green, and I'm the founder of the company, and we come to you every single Friday from 12:30 till 1 p.m. Hopefully not any time over, but sometimes I get a little carried away and we get into these topics around credit and finances. So today, as always, we are going to talk about the things that relate to our finances and credit. That's right. Every single week, we go into details about things that we know that can benefit your life and make it better around credit and financial tips. So, as we do normally, we explain what is credit. So, for starters, credit is the ability for you to get finance through a lender or a creditor if you don't have enough money to pay for the things that you desire. So, if you're in need of a place to live, if you're in need of some transportation, maybe you're in need of some type of communication like a cell phone. What will happen is that if we don't have enough money to pay for those items outright, then we have the ability to obtain credit. Credit usually comes from a bank or a credit union or some type of financial institution that finances us over a period of terms. And those terms usually run about 2 years or longer if we are with the traditional type of credit lender. So if we are dealing with a regular creditor, what happens is if we don't have enough money, then we can go to a creditor or lender if our credit is right and be able to obtain the things that we need. But sometimes our credit is not right, and that's why we have decided over the past 30 plus years, actually almost 35 years, that we've been doing credit to bring to you these credit and financial tips so that you can win at the credit game, but also in your finances as well. So today we are going to talk a little bit more on the financial side and ask the question to yourself: is your money on an assignment? Now, you might be thinking, like, well, how can my money be on an assignment? It's not really a human being, it can't really do anything itself. But the truth of the matter is that your money needs to be on assignment. And the reason why your money needs to be on assignment is because there are so many different times in our lives where we receive money, but our money doesn't know what it's supposed to do. It doesn't know where it's supposed to go. It doesn't know what it's supposed to pay for. So, because we don't have our money on an assignment, what actually happens to us is that the money goes away. It goes in places and it ends up going to things that are not required, that are not needed, things that we are just frivolously allowing the money to just leave our hands or our bank accounts unnecessarily. And that's the reason why the economy is in the predicament that it's in. That's why sometimes in our lives, we actually end up going into a charge off status, a collection status. We end up losing some of the things that we have. And that is not something that we want you to do in the credit game or in your financial life. So we have to learn, number one, that the money is supposed to be assigned. So we need to decide on where every single penny is going in order for us to have a really good financial portfolio. So, what is a financial portfolio? It is a picture of or a snapshot of what your finances look like and what your future of your finances look like as your money grows. But the first issue around is your money on an assignment is the fact that we don't really understand how serious we should take our income. There are millions of us out here who are actually involving ourselves in what I call and what the world calls get rich quick schemes. There are so many of us out here that have already decided that yes, we don't make enough money, but where are we gaining the additional money from? Is it something that's legal? Is it something that we can actually do to earn a proper living and receive a higher income? So we look at our jobs first off, and on the job, are you actually doing the work that it takes in order for you to get promoted? Are you doing the work that it takes in order for you to increase your income and get a raise? Are you doing the things that it takes in order for you to be made aware of inflation, which is the ability for the economy to increase its prices every so often, especially once a year, to see if there is, a greater income that you need to make personally to keep up with inflation? So why are we deciding that we don't really have our money on an assignment? The reason why is because we, number one, don't take our income that seriously. When I say we don't take it that seriously, how much of a real effort are you engaging in trying to make additional money? How serious are you taking the idea of doing what you got to do so that you can get promoted, so you can get a raise, so that you can even open a business, so that you can do something on the side, maybe get a second job, a part-time job, or a third or fourth job? Now, I know you can't do that many, but my point is that what is that gift, skill, or talent that's on the inside of you that you've been lying dormant, that you haven't decided that you're going to actually go for because of fear, because of whatever the circumstances of the situation? Maybe you think you don't have enough time, but you got to begin to start there so that the money that you're already earning will supply your basic necessities, and then the additional money that you begin to earn will become the excess of money that you're able to do the other things that you really want to do in life. It's not going to happen by us just continuing a repeated process of just doing the same thing we've been doing. So, first off, in order for us to really get our money on an assignment, we have to decide how serious we are about making a proper living. Not a get rich quick, not something that we're trying to do temporarily just for a few months or a few weeks so that we can obtain money and we can have a little bit of extra every now and then, but something that's going to actually be permanent, with our income steadily increasing over a period of time. So it's like our money is accruing in the same manner that we would be working. So that's what I'm talking about. The money has to be on an assignment, and it can't be on an assignment if we first don't take our income very seriously. So let's do some, research. Let's do a checkup from the neck up and really think about what can we do right now in order for us to begin to really take our income serious, to go for that promotion, to get a raise, to be able to get a part-time job, or actually start the business that we have been thinking about, or continue doing the business that we already started, but expand in the accessories and creativity that we can, so we can bring in more income with our products and services. Let's start there. Now, after we have started there, the second thing that we need to do to assign our money is to make a list of the things that we have to have versus the things that we want. Okay. And this is what we call budgeting. That is one of my favorite things that we do here at Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. In our credit repair services, we break down a financial analysis. That financial analysis allows us to look at what are the things that you have that you must have in order for you to live. So basic necessities, I call them basic living expenses. BLE, basic living expenses. So what are your basic living expenses? What are the things that you know for sure if you write them down and you decide on, okay, I know I gotta eat. I know I gotta have something to drink. So groceries is up in there. Okay. I also know that I have to have a place to live. So we gotta have the rent or the mortgage in the equation. All right. What are the other things that are surrounded around the necessities? I have to have lights. I have to have water. I have to have some type of entertainment in this day and time. We can't do anything without the internet, right? So pretty much internet is a necessity now. We can't do anything without communication. So those are our core basic necessities. So that's going to be on one side of our budget. Okay. And anything else that you can think of, add it to your list. Then on the opposite side, we're going to put down the things that are not necessities, but things that we like, things that we want to have. Like, for example, I like to eat out every now and then. I like to go to the mall every now and then. I like to maybe place an order with Amazon every now and then, or whatever. Whatever it is that you desire, whatever your wants are, whatever your wishes are, then what you want to do is make a list for to budget those items in your equation of your financial portfolio. You do not want to take away the things that you want because they are also a part of your livelihood. I said basic living expenses. So when we talk about a basic living expenses, it literally means that these are things that it takes in order for you to live. And in order for you to live, you have to be happy. You have to have some kind of joy or some kind of peace about living. And in order for you to have that, you cannot exclude the things that you like to do. You can't exclude the things that you know that you're going to end up doing. If you were to take them away all of a sudden cold turkey, it's just not going to make the whole budget work for you. So that money has to be assigned to the things that you need and the things that you want. Now, in the equation of the budget, of the things that you need and the things that you want, one of the problems that I see quite often, in addition to the fact that we eliminate looking at and taking seriously making a larger income because we kind of want somebody to rescue us and to just give us money instead of us actually earning a living and doing the work that it takes in order for us to get the money, the additional funds. And then we don't want to really look at what it is that we are in need of. We just want to ignore that. But we definitely look at the things that we like and the things that we want, but we are looking at it all backwards. So if we look at the income, we look at the things that we need, and then we look at the things that we want. We also have to look at the things that are actually outside of our area or our arena of being able to control something that has to be paid. So when we look at something that has to be paid, how many of us have noticed that when we get paid on our paycheck stub, that our money is already assigned for us? Okay, when you look at your paycheck stub, go to your paycheck stub online or however you receive it and look at what it says on the paycheck stub. It literally tells us how to assign our money when it comes to the proper order of finances. So if you're looking at your paycheck stub or if you go and look at it later, you will notice that the first priority in finances is your taxes. So you need to make sure that things that are outside of your control of what you absolutely have to pay as a citizen of the United States or a citizen of any other country. I don't care where you live, where you're from, where you're going, you have to pay for taxes. Okay. So if unless you are a foreigner coming to a new country, then you don't have to pay taxes on certain things. But taxes are a number one priority in the financial arena. So here's what I'm saying. If your money is not assigned to pay the taxes, after you look at all of the things that you need, actually, even before you look at the things that you need and the things that you want, the taxes are a priority. It's actually at the top of the equation of being able to take care of your money being assigned to what is a necessity, something that is outside of your control, something that is outside of your even basic living expenses. You have to pay taxes. So, how many of us are in an economy where we are in trouble with taxes? How many of us have taken care of our, or let's say, not even taken care of, but just eliminated doing our taxes for the whole purpose of fear that we are going to have to pay back money? Now, some of us already know that we have to pay back money in taxes. However, even if you have to pay back money to the federal, to the state, regardless of what the circumstances of the situation is, what I'm telling you is you want to assign your money to pay those taxes. You don't want to keep on putting it off, deciding that you're not going to do your taxes, you're not going to file, or that you're going to eliminate the state contacting you by email, by text message, calling you on the phone. You're just going to keep on pressing ignore, 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 or put them on the block list so they can't even get through to you, and then wait and wait and wait till time passes. And then as time passes down the road, years down the road, or even months down the road, then you're in a pickle because you're in trouble with the state or the federal government. See, we don't want to deal with that when it comes to our finances. We got to understand that if we go ahead and prepare by taking the time for the money to already be assigned, even if it's not exactly what they are asking for, but if you would just take the time to assign some of your money to pay the taxes and make sure that you always do your taxes every year, take care of whatever expenses you got to have, and especially those of us who are business owners. Listen, take care of your taxes. Even if you get an extension, make sure that your taxes are met. And I'm not just talking about income taxes. I'm also talking about the taxes on your home, the taxes on your car or vehicles, the taxes on your land, if you have land, any type of taxes that are due, the taxes on your business. Okay, so we need to understand that a part of the issue around our money is that we keep trying to overstep the regular process of finances flowing so that we can flourish and grow in abundance of income, is the fact that we keep overlooking the number one issue with our finances. We don't want to handle our taxes. I'm trying to tell you right now, we got to change that today. We have to change our mindset to understand that this is just a part of the whole equation and no one is eliminated. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are, what country you live in, you are not eliminated from paying taxes, okay? So, when it comes to the taxes, once you get that out of the way, you got your house taxes, your land taxes, your vehicle taxes, your car taxes, your business taxes, or whatever other taxes that are necessary for you to make sure are in alignment. The next thing that we got to do to assign our money is to make sure that our money is protected. How can you protect your money? By making sure that you have protection over your income, protection over your life, protection over your health plans, protection over the dental, the vision, the medical plans, short-term disability, workers' comp on the job. We have to make sure that we protect ourselves. So if we are the one that is the breadwinner, we're the one that's bringing in the income, even if your income is small, medium size, or large, it doesn't matter. What matters is the fact that you're the one that is bringing in the income. So if you don't protect your income, then there is going to be a trickle effect of the money, because it's not assigned, is going to just go out of the window. And you're already asking yourself, like, where is the money going? I don't understand why I'm always broke. Why do I always have these different scenarios where I don't have enough cash to take care of the basic necessities that I have or the things that I want? How can I change that? Well, how you change that is by understanding that you, secondly, have to protect the money. So, why not put the money on an assignment to protect itself? How do you do that? You do that through making sure that you have secured a life insurance plan. You make sure that you have the proper insurance, not this, just the insurance on your job, but the insurance outside of your job on your life and every single person in your household. That is the second way that your money can properly be assigned and flow in an order in which you don't have to be stressed out, worried about how you're going to make ends meet in the event that an emergency pops off. Because an emergency is going to happen in our life. So if we haven't assigned our money to our taxes and to the insurance protections of it, then we are going to lose every time at the money game. Okay? So, how do people do this? What they do is they make sure they have enough income coverage for life insurance. So, if you make $100,000 a year, then you, at bare minimum, better have a policy of $100,000 a year. And make sure that if you cannot afford to assign your money to an insurance policy, that you are at least putting something back in the event that something happens to you. So if you don't have the cash, you better have the life insurance. And if you don't have the life insurance, then you better have the cash. Do you understand how that works? So make sure you have assigned your money not just to life insurance, but that you have a good health plan. I don't care if you are the person that is in the best condition in your health. Every single time as time passes on, all of us have some type of health issues. And with the way that the economy is in today's society, especially with our bad habits, our bad eating habits, our bad drinking habits, the fact that we are a society that is very sedentary, we do not exercise. Most of us are sitting down at our jobs. We're not really moving our bodies. We're not doing anything with our health to really sustain the health long term. So, one of the things that is an issue is the fact that we don't insure our health properly. If we're not properly insuring our health, then that means the money is not assigned to the proper thing. And then when our health goes down, then our money goes down as well. Because now we don't have anything to replace the fact that we're not working. You understand where I'm going with this, right? So we have to assign the money to pay for insurances. We also have to understand that in the event of our home, like if we live in a townhouse, a house, or if we don't own our property, then one of the things that is a problem for most people is the fact that they have not assigned their money to renter's insurance. Renter's insurance is the requirement for the fact that if anything were to happen to your stuff inside of your property, wherever you live, then guess what? Even if the property is not yours, if you're renting or if you are a homeowner, the fact is that the stuff inside of the house will not be replaced in the event of an emergency. So if something happens like a fire, a flood, or a tornado or something come and tear off the roof, the ceiling, and all of your bedding, all of your clothes, all of your furniture is torn up, then guess what? you have no security with your money because now the money is gone bye bye, and you don't have anything because you didn't have insurance on your renter's property or your house. You don't have the insurance money to replace what was lost or damaged. So you see how it's so crucial that your money be on an assignment. Your money has to be assigned to certain things in order for you to truly win at the credit game and the financial game. And the last thing that I want to share with you is making sure that your money is on an assignment by making sure that you have some type of savings. So, the three things that are majorly important is that making sure that your money is assigned to taxes, insurance, and some type of savings or investment. And I know that we think in our minds that this is like, oh, I'm already paying out just everything, every penny towards the rent, towards the grocery bill, towards the lights, the cable, the insurance, towards the internet, whatever it is that we have to do. And that's not to mention if we have kids and the responsibilities of kids going back to school or to college, that we're trying to help them out. And especially even if we have a desire to have an education ourselves, maybe we want to go back to school. I understand the fact that these are all things that we feel like are super important, and they actually are. But what I'm telling you is that if you don't get your money on the proper assignment, then it's always going to be a repeated cycle, a routine where you're going around the same mountain over and over and over again if you don't begin to put the proper things in place for your money. If you don't begin to assign your money to the fact of, number one, like we talked about before, making sure that you have a seriousness about earning the right amount of money that you need for your necessities as well as your wants. Secondly, writing everything down and making sure that you see for yourself. Listen, I'm not really making as much money as I thought I was making. Looking at your paycheck stub and realizing that your taxes and your insurance and your savings are already disciplines around your money being assigned. So that these are things that we cannot really control that are going to happen at some point in time anyway in our life. So we got to go ahead and stop the mindset of we are not going to assign our money. We are not going to control our money and put it to the proper assigned item. We have to stop that mentality and change it to the fact that we got to control this money and begin to put it in its proper place. In other words, you got to tell your money where it's supposed to go. And you can no longer afford, with the way that the economy is here in the United States and also other countries, there's no way that you can afford to continue to go about life deciding that you're going to allow money to assign itself instead of you assigning the money where it's really supposed to go. So that's all I have for today, guys. Thank you guys for watching. Listen, we are Kingdom Builders Credit Repair, and if you're in our program already, there is a budget assessment that you definitely need to make sure that you are engaging in while we're going through the process of removing those late payments, those charge-off write-offs, those collection accounts, as well as cleaning up your profiles and getting rid of those inquiries that you made. Listen, you got to make sure that we are connecting and collaborating so that you can get the best benefit of Kingdom Builders Credit Repair. We want to make sure that you win, not just with your credit, but with your finances. And that's why it's so crucial that you learn how to assign your money to the proper things so that you can win at the financial game. And in addition to that, for those of you who have never been in the Kingdom Builders Credit Repair program, please make sure that you go to our website, kingdombuilderscreditrepair.com. Click on the Let's Talk button and let's set a time and a day when we can actually sit down and talk about this over the phone or virtually so that we can get into the details of where your money actually needs to go and how you can increase your credit scores from a 4 or 500 level to a 7 and 800 credit score and maintain that for the rest of your life based on the knowledge and understanding that you will have of the credit game. Okay, so if you are interested, you have the information. It is all there, right there below. And if you don't have it, listen, like I said, call us at 844-522-87552.